I'm your brother and your friend Steve Oluwatumininu. Deadly disease that is sweeping our nation now. Let me start by telling you a very short story. Last week in my town, there was a woman that went to the farm. She came back with firewood on her head. Immediately she got home, she dropped the firewood. Then there was a chair in front of her house with a backrest. She immediately lied down on this chair, resting. Then her neighbor, who was washing plates, they were exchanging words. She was now telling her that you are welcome. It will have been better for you to just go inside, take a warm shower, get the good food to eat, then once and for all rest. That now that you are resting now, before you know, sleep might take you away. And they were like exchanging words. They were talking to each other. Just within 2 minutes, the woman that was washing plate now realized that this woman that just came back from the farm, she's no longer responding to what she was saying. She now dropped what she was doing. She moved to her in an attempt to wake her up so that she can go inside, take a warm shower, then once and for all rest. But do you know what has happened? This woman has passed away. That was why she was not responding again, just within a couple of 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes. Now, do you know what killed this woman? Nothing killed this woman but uncontrolled hypertension. And uncontrolled hypertension resulted from ignorance. This woman has been suffering from uncontrolled hypertension for a very long time, but she did not know. Now, this will now drive us to one of the deadly diseases that is sweeping our nation today. We call it eye killer disease. Eye killer disease. What is this eye killer disease? It's called hypertension. We have been hearing of this disease for a very long time, but it's still killing us. It's cutting short our lives, causing some kind of, untimely death, and, preventing some dreams and aspirations from being fulfilled. We have been hearing it, but why do we allow this thing to keep, eating deep into our society? Why? It is a killer disease. Why do we hire our diet to be killing us? Why do we hire our lifestyle to be killing us? Why do we hire lack of exercise, lack of taking medications, lack of doing the necessary things we need to do to be killing us? This thing is eating deep into our society today. If you know the percentage that is being attributed to hypertension as one of the leading cause of untimely death, it's great alarming. Now, what are these possible causes of this killer disease? We all know it. We've been hearing it. Now, let me tell you. Do you know there are some diets that you're taking that contribute to development of hypertension? High consumption of sodium. Then, smoking. Taking tobacco use. High consumption of alcohol. All these things contribute to the development of this killer disease that we call hypertension. High cholesterol level in the blood or in the body. All these things contribute to the development of hypertension. We know it runs in the blood as a genetic factor. But as one of the ignorance that we're talking about, do you know some people don't even know that they're supposed to regularly examine their blood pressure, despite that their father died of the same hypertension. Their brother had stroke at home, which they are taking care of. Their relatives, had visual disturbances or visual disorder, maybe hypertensive retinopathy and so on, that are still at home that they are battling with. But as a result of ignorance, they don't know they're supposed to regularly examine their blood pressure. They don't know they're supposed to take medication. They don't know that they're supposed to indulge in a regular exercise, slow and steady exercise. They don't know they need to quit some unhealthy lifestyle like smoking, tobacco use, alcohol consumption, and so on and so forth. So, what are the signs and symptoms of these killer diseases? Headache. We have headache. Fatigue, which is tiredness. Some people have chest pain. Some people have difficulty in breathing. But do you now know the most funniest thing of all? This killer disease, we call it a silent killer, and that is what we call it higher killer disease, is because it even gives no signs and symptoms. It gives you no notice, and that is why when a higher killer want to come and attack you, they will never give you any notification. It just come over a night, and that is why we call hypertension a killer disease. It will give no notice. It will just attack you and take your life once and for all, like that. So how do you know? These are the things we've talked about, like having a kind of a blurring vision. Some people will be having a buzzing in the air or ringing in the air. Some people feel tired when they just do a very little walk. You understand? Now, what do you think are the complications of this killer disease? Killer disease result into untimely death. It prevents dreams and aspirations from being fulfilled. It's the one that results into stroke. Yes, and is the one that result into serious eye diseases like hypertensive retinopathy, resulting into blindness. Now let's talk about stroke. We have two types of stroke. We have ischemic stroke and we have hemorrhagic stroke. Ischemic stroke is the one that causes obstruction of blood flow to the brain, while hemorrhagic stroke is the one that causes rupturing of blood vessels that allow blood to pour in our brains. You know, in this our brain has every special area that is controlling each and every of these our body parts. Our eyes, there's a center in our brain controlling our eyes. Hands, legs, they have their centers in the brain which is controlling their various functions. Now, if there's a rupturing of blood vessel to any of this part of the brain, it will eventually affect the functions of that particular part that is controlling, and that is how stroke develop. Do you now know where stroke develop or what resulted into this stroke? Number one, uncontrolled hypertension. It is the number one causes of stroke. Another cause of stroke is that overweight, obesity. Yes, overweight and obesity usually result into stroke. Do you know there are some unhealthy lifestyle that result into development of stroke, like taking alcohol, tobacco use, smoking, lack of regular exercise, taking an inadequate intake of nutritious diet? All these things honestly result into stroke. Now, how do we prevent this from happening? How do we prevent this killer disease from eating deep into our society and claiming lives, preventing so many dreams and full visions from being fulfilled? Now, it lies in two things. Number one, adopting a healthy lifestyle. Number two, taking care of underlying diseases. We have so many underlying diseases that result into stroke, like diabetes, like hypertension we'll talk about. Let's learn to take our medication as prescribed. Let's learn to go to the hospital for follow-up visits. Regularly, let's examine our blood pressure. It is very, very important. About our lifestyle, if you are overweight, you have to pay attention to your weight. You have to engage in a regular exercise. Now, let me come in here. There was a man in my town. He was hypertensive. Then he was recommended to engage in regular exercise. This man now began to go and play volleyball with some youth in my town. Do you know this man died on the volleyball court while playing volleyball? Why? Because this is a vigorous exercise. We need slow and steady exercise to keep us very active. Slow and steady exercise, not the vigorous one that will result into heart attack that we are preventing. Please, let's pay attention to this. It is very, very important. Like I was saying, let's adopt a healthy lifestyle. Let's quit smoking and alcohol consumption. Let's quit tobacco use. Let's engage in regular exercise. Let's regularly observe our blood pressure. Because let me tell you one thing about disease. Early detection and prompt treatment will give you a better prognosis to any disease. Like the stroke we're talking about, it leads to paralysis. The best thing is to prevent paralysis from being occurring. The moment it occurs, either partial or total, the recovery is not that quick, and in most cases, if you look at the percentage, honestly, it's uncalled for. So the best thing is, let's prevent these things from happening. Prevention is better and cheaper to cure. Another killer disease is accident and unintentional fall. We have road traffic accident, we have domestic accident. Now let's talk about domestic accident. We have series of bedroom falls, people falling on ties and so on. If you look at the percentage of death that is recorded to bedroom falls, honestly, is greatly alarming. It is alarming. How do we prevent this? By paying attention to our underlying health. Do you know some people are hypertensive, and when they are bathing in the bedroom, some might be feeling dizzy, but they will want to complete that day bathing before they want to go and rest. Before you know, blurring vision comes and they will fall. And when you know the structure of the bedroom, what are they eventually hit their head on either the basin or the wash hand basin or anything, and that is why it is always very fatal. Bedroom falls are always very, very fatal, and it's claiming lives every day. Let's pay attention to this. Let's pay attention to our underlying health diseases. Let's take our medication as prescribed. And let me tell you something, if you are sleeping and maybe you want to go and ease yourself in the middle of the night or anytime when you're sleeping and you just woke up, don't just get up immediately. Do you know why? When you are sleeping, the body is at total rest. The blood flow, everything has greatly reduced. So getting up suddenly to go and ease yourself, for the body to be able to meet up the immediate demand of the actions you've just taken, will be somehow interrupted. Before you know, you feel blurring vision, you feel dizzy and falling down. All these are the various causes of bedroom falls, domestic accident that are claiming lives every day. We have so many causes of domestic accident, especially falling. We have environmental hazard, we have individual health condition, and we have human error. All these things, honestly, they need to be attended to. Another killer disease is liver diseases and cirrhosis. What are the causes of liver diseases and cirrhosis? We have so many causes of liver diseases, but greatly it lies under our unhealthy lifestyle, like smoking, tobacco use, alcohol consumption. We know we have viral infections, just like hepatitis B or C, which result into inflammation and scarring of the liver tissue. Of course, we have diabetes. We have so many causes of liver diseases and cirrhosis, but honestly, they need to be attended to, and the attention lies under just two factors that I've talked about: treating underlying condition and adopting a healthy lifestyle. That is, we have to quit smoking, we have to quit alcohol consumption, we have to quit our tobacco use. Then we have to pay attention to our exercise, our health, regular exercise, slow and steady exercise. Diet, we need to control our diet, reduce low sodium intake, reduce salt intake, reduce food that are rich in cholesterol. Then we start taking a nutritious diet. What are these nutritious diets? Honestly, the best medication is fruits. Best medication, best drug ever, they are fruits. If you know, most of all these multivitamins that we are fond of taking today, 80 to 90% of all these multivitamins is being made from fruits. Let's engage in taking fruits. It prolongs our life. It renews our body worn out tissues. It builds our immunity. Fruits are very, very good and important to our health. Another thing is water intake. Water is very, very important. I usually say the best drink so ever is water, because it will irrigate your system, it will rehydrate your system, and there's so many functions. If you even look at the content of the blood, water is there. Water is very, very important in our health. Let's engage in adequate intake of water, especially in the morning. Let's learn taking water in the morning. Let's take diets that are very nutritious to our health. Let's pay attention to our weight. Those people that are obese and overweight, we need to pay attention to this, because this is seriously killing us. Please, let's pay attention to this. Now, if you find my video very important and you think you've benefited from it, kindly press the subscription button so that you can have access to more of my educative videos. Now, all of these killer diseases, we shall be taking them one by one and be dealing with them into detail, telling us what we are expected to do, the causes, and how we are expected, or what we are expected to do to prevent all these diseases. By the special grace of God, our next video will be very, very educative. And if you could watch our videos, your life would never remain the same again. Thank you, and God bless you.